Oh, wobbly moment. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Also Driven. I'm Jim. This is Sean, and
Hello.
we are dealing with the Tipo today.
Well, it's an update video on the Tipo for you.
Yes, we bought this Tipo 6 weeks ago.
Something like that.
Yeah. And it was a complete non-runner. You went and picked it up. What did you do to it?
Well, I think the previous video will show that essentially took out the alarm, played around with that a lot, that didn't really work, and then I bought a new crank sensor, fitted that, and it all worked, so the car started, and that is where we ended the last video. Let's see what we've been doing since then.
I'm holding a cup. So let's take a quick look around the Tipo with a cup of tea. So what have we got so far? This is a Tipo Liberté. I know. And it was a limited edition car that was towards the end of the Tipo's life. And what they did was they give you a sunroof, air conditioning, and a really rather nice interior, which I'll show you now from the other side. Yeah, so you got these really rather nice Alcantara seats, which are a little bit grotty and not showing the best of wear, but we'll see what we can do with those. So that was a unique thing about the Liberté. You also got a sunroof, which is very nice. But unfortunately, they deleted the split rear seat on the car, so you've only got a bench rear seat, which is a bit annoying. The other very unique thing about this car is this was the first ever Fiat to come with air conditioning as standard. The problem is, the air conditioning's in a box in the boot. And before you ask, it does not have a digital dashboard. The problem Fiat found with the digital dashboard was it wasn't particularly popular, much like many manufacturers of the time. I think Vauxhall did one. There was obviously one on the Maestro a few years before that. And they were terribly complicated. They were expensive to fix when they went wrong. And they just were not something that people wanted. Right, that's a quick walk around. Tell me all about why the Tipo has not appeared at Rustival and various other car shows.
Well, it just doesn't seem to run properly. So the problem is it starts fine, and when it then settles to an idle, it sounds quite uneven. It sounds quite chuggy, it kind of goes out the exhaust. And when you then drive it, we've taken it for several journeys, it essentially just doesn't have any power, absolutely no power whatsoever. It will not rev past 4,000 RPM, and when you're accelerating from, say, 30 to 50, in third, you may as well be in fifth. It has absolutely no go whatsoever, and it's a 1.6. It should have a bit more go than that. It just feels wrong. It's also unbelievably loud when you do put your foot down. It's really kind of overpoweringly loud. When you go onto a dual carriageway, which we have done somehow, you eventually get to 60, but it won't really go any faster than 60. You can't make it go faster than 60. If you drop down to fourth, then you kind of lose power completely somehow. It kind of just really, the power dips and you actually start slowing down. It's completely weird. So we haven't felt capable of driving it, but we have made several attempts at fixing this, and I will tell you what they are. So the engine bay of the Tipo is extremely familiar to me. I've spent a long time in it, but because I have replaced quite a lot of the kind of fuel intake system. I have replaced the gaskets that are hiding under there for the what I like to call electronic carburetor. It's a single point fuel injection, but it looks like a carburetor. We thought it was an air leak in that. Replaced the gaskets. Nope, made no difference whatsoever. I have also replaced the HT leads and the spark plugs down there, so they're nice and new and lovely. Made absolutely no difference whatsoever. Oh, the airbox is unclipped. That will make no difference whatsoever either. Hold on, wrong way around. There we go. We have replaced the coil pack. It's kind of a coil pack unit there. That has made, funnily enough, absolutely no difference whatsoever. We then thought maybe it's a fueling issue, so we have changed the fuel filter, which is in the back of the car underneath it. Nice easy job, made absolutely no difference whatsoever. And then I banged the exhaust with a rubber mallet and discovered that the exhaust was absolutely chocked full of rust. So ordered a new exhaust, replaced that, and it made absolutely no difference whatsoever.
Okay, someone will have noticed that that was hanging loose, and we'll probably blame it, so we'll put it back on again just to be on the safe side.
I assure you it makes absolutely no difference to how the car runs.
This is going to be the word of the whole thing, isn't it? This made no difference.
No difference. None. None whatsoever. The other thing I have done is, and you don't actually know about this, Jim, is that the horn was sitting basically inside the air intake. So I've removed that. It made, funnily enough, absolutely no difference whatsoever.
Hold on, the horn was where?
The horn was wedged into the air intake. One of the two horns. What that does mean is that the horn no longer works for some reason. So that is something we would need to look at before it gets an MOT.
Okay, that is possibly the most Fiat thing ever, that the horn only works if you wedge it in the air intake. You're sort of fed up with this car, aren't you? Slightly.
It's a fighter. It's a real fighter. So anyway, ultimately, we would love it if someone has a really amazingly sensible idea as to what is wrong with this car. It's a really simple single point fuel injection system. The crank sensor has been replaced. There are only a limited amount of other kind of data centers for it. Things we haven't done: fuel pump.
Okay, but it does start. There is
primes.
Yeah.
It's all fine.
Yeah.
Catalytic converter is another idea that people have had. Maybe it's blocked. Don't know. How do we test that? What was the other thing? Oh, well, the other thing is then the ECU system, whether it's either dodgy in some way or it's one of the sensors. Well, the only other one there is probably the O2 sensor is giving false information and is kind of doing something to the ECU that's making it not give it any power. Otherwise, I am really stumped. Okay, let's start it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds healthy.
It sounds quite exhausty, is the only thing. It does sound... It sounds quite raughty. So I'm blipping the accelerator and absolutely nothing is happening.
Oh, really?
You have to push the throttle about an inch before anything happens at all. But it sounds okay now because it's on idle, fast idle. So it's on about just over 1,000 RPM. But when it drops to about 800, which is kind of its normal idle speed, which you will do in a minute or two, suddenly the whole car kind of vibrates a little bit. It sounds thrummy. It just isn't right. And yeah, every single time I've done something to this car, it starts to go, oh, I think it's all right because we're on fast idle, and then it drops to normal idle, and it's just rubbish again. So here we are at the engine bay. So you can hear now that this is kind of normal idle. And then Jim will take you around to the exhaust pipe and kind of hear the thrum that comes out of that too.
Yeah, it's a little bit more noticeable at this end. Definitely a lot of vibration too, because you can see it in the exhaust moving there. Okay, so that's our problem. What solutions have we been offered so far?
Well, we've just gone through those.
Oh, yes, so we did. Well, it was more from the Fiat Club.
I see.
Yes, the Fiat Club have suggested that we go to...
Classic Project Club in Bicester.
Okay, who specialise in...
Lamborghinis.
And Ferraris. And I'm going to turn up with a Tipo from 1996, which has slightly manky seats.
And I think they might laugh at us.
But yeah. Also, they might bankrupt us. That might be the thing as well.
That's a worse problem, actually.
Yeah, because this we've done quite a lot of stuff recently. This was not budgeted for. I went to Italy with Hubnut, and that wasn't budgeted for. And the NEC kind of was... Well, by that point, I'd spent all of the budget, so the NEC was just like, we screwed us over as well.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. It's just that it's an expensive thing to do.
It is.
You know,
but it's a really fun thing to do, but yeah, it is expensive.
Yeah.
Travelling there and back lots and food.
Yeah, it's a 200-mile round trip a day.
And
then you're on your feet all day, and you tend to sort of go, oh, let's buy another coffee at £5.
Yeah, I know. Not quite £5, £4. For a bucket of the horrible stuff inside. Or you go to the Cornish bakery just outside in the concourse and you get really nice coffee for slightly less.
Yeah. We are not affiliated with the Cornish bakery, but we wish we were.
Anyway. I think so. So that's our update on the Tipo for now. It's not a terribly exciting update. We're a bit sad about it. It's sort of stuck in the naughty corner whilst we kind of get a bit of funds together to see it. If we can get a professional to diagnose it, ultimately, is the thing, because I have reached the end of what I can do. We could throw more parts at it, but I think that is now... Because the parts we've replaced are kind of service parts. The exhaust was shagged anyway. HT leads were 30 years old, that kind of thing. So we may as well have replaced those fuel filter, that kind of thing. So that's not a hardship that we've done that, but we're not throwing a catalytic converter on it just on the off chance that it might work, that kind of thing. We're not going to buy a new ECU on the off chance it might work. So we do need a professional to come and give us a bit of a diagnosis, which is really sad because I hate giving up. I don't like to lose, as James Kirk says in Star Trek 2.
Okay. And on that very disappointing note, we shall go. Anyway, thank you for watching, and like, subscribe. What else do people say on these videos?
Smash the like button. Leave a comment. Leave a
comment. Well, mainly, yes, this one we do want you to leave a comment because we're looking for suggestions. Normally we tell people, no, we know what we're doing and stop telling us what to do. Whereas this time we don't.
No, we've tried our best.
Okay.
Anyway, goodbye.
Bye. You have to hit the off key because I'm on the wrong side.